On today's episode of the Football Fellowship podcast, we are going to be predicting the entirety of the 2024 European Championships. We'll be saying where every team is going to finish in the groups, what the knockout stage will look like, and ultimately who is going to be lifting that trophy in July. Will it be coming home or not? Stay tuned to find out. And on today's episode, it is the final Football Fellowship quiz. One round of Tenable each to decide who gets the trophy for the full season. Stick around for that one and play along at home too.
Welcome back. We're glad to have you with us. And yes, the Euros are well and truly upon us, and I'm so excited. I wasn't quite as excited as I was when the Premier League season ended, but in previewing this and trying to decide who I think is going to qualify from the groups and get to the final and win it at the end, I've actually got myself in a very good place, and I'm quite happy and I'm ready for potentially football to come home, but I'll have to wait and see whether I'm right or wrong. We've just alienated all the other teams by saying football's coming home twice there, but that's okay. Should we maybe start off with Group A? But firstly, Toby, actually, before we get into that, let me ask you, how have you found this? Because I found that there are a lot of good teams which I think have a good chance of winning the Euros this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really sticks out in the group stage for me. I feel like there is one team in each group that I think looks really, really strong compared to their others. And I think all of those teams that potentially, hopefully, we may predict to be finishing top of that group, I think will really be battling out to get far in the tournament. And it feels like this is the first tournament for a while where those top teams are all looking quite good. I think normally when we have those sort of classic teams that you think of as sort of the footballing giants, there's sometimes a couple that are maybe going through a transition period, maybe not looked so sharp, maybe their manager hasn't been the best. I think there's like you said, a lot of competition, and particularly in those late stage games, I think they're going to be really, really hard to predict.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's get into it. Let's start off with Group A. And I did want to pick you on one thing there. You said there's a lot of teams who you think are going to easily qualify top of their group. And I think, in my opinion, that Germany will qualify top of Group A. However, I do find it interesting how the whole narrative around Germany's changed completely, especially after the last two international friendlies in March, which was when they beat France 2-0 and when they beat the Netherlands 2-1. And before that, there was a lot of doom and gloom. Yes, I may have bought into that a little bit and I've got Germany top, but before that, there's a lot of people saying maybe they wouldn't.
Yeah, I've also got Germany, I think, are going to be pretty comfortably top in that group. I do probably think they'll win at least 2 games, most likely 3. I think they'll be able to do it. And like you said, maybe it's not the strongest Germany side we've ever seen, particularly looking back sort of 10 years ago when obviously they won the World Cup. But the big thing for me is that home advantage. Hosts of the tournament, it makes such a huge difference, particularly in Germany, particularly in stadiums like the Allianz Arena, like the Signal Iduna Park. The atmosphere is just going to be absolutely incredible. The home fans, the entire country are going to be behind them. And I think that's going to be a massive difference. And I think that's going to make up maybe for where in some areas of that squad, the quality is lacking. But I still think as well, they've got a good all-round squad. They've got a great manager behind them as well. And yeah, for me, I think they've got to be top of that group, really.
Okay, so we're locking it in. Are we having Germany top of Group A then?
Yeah, we would be crazy not to put them in, I think.
Okay, that's fine. So they're top. Let me ask you then about one of our fellow countries, very close by, Scotland. Have you got any Scottish in you? Because I definitely don't.
No, and I think looking at my predictor, it'd be quite easy to see that as well. I've gone for them bottom of the group. I think maybe they'd be able to pick up a point or 2, but I think they are the weakest side in that group. Where have you gone for them? Have you got a bit more hope?
So I agree that on paper that they do look like one of the weakest sides in the group. I do think that they will have, I don't know, a bit of fighting spirit, if anything else, a bit of hope and optimism just getting this far. I think Steve Clark has done a fantastic job, especially in their group stages, to get them this far. I really feel bad for all the Scottish people listening, but I do have them bottom as well. I do think the recent injury to Lyndon Dykes is a massive issue for them. I think he was going to be the starting number 9. I think he's going to be the focal point for all of their attacks. And with him gone, I'm trying to look at the attacking players that they've got, Scotland. And most of their strength is in the defence with Robertson, Tierney. The midfield looks solid with McGinn, McTominay. But I just don't think they have anything up front. Who they're going to start up front? Shanklin, maybe G. Adams. I just don't see them scoring enough goals apart from in set pieces. So from open play, I think I can just see Hungary and Switzerland score more goals from open play. That's all it is. And I think those sides have more experience, more quality, and I think that they will do better. So yeah, I do have Scotland last as well.
Yeah, and those two other sides are a really, really strange one for me. And I I think Switzerland come with maybe a lot of sort of memories of international tournaments, and they've got some players who really, really step up in tournaments. Particularly Xherdan Shaqiri have such vivid memories of him playing so well in World Cups and European Championships. But now he's getting on as well. I think there are a few players maybe in there, like Mbolo has been sort of a starter for them for a number of years as well, and I'm not sure sort of his quality. They've got a decent defensive setup, Switzerland, but I'm not too sure. And Hungary are a really, really strange one because at the last European Championships, they shocked everyone and played really, really well in that group of death. And in recent weeks, I think they're on a pretty decent unbeaten run, if I'm not mistaken. And for me, I won't say where I've exactly got them yet until I've heard what you've said, but I think Hungary potentially could be one to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, I think they're definitely one to keep an eye on, and it is so close between them. And I think Switzerland, I mean, you mentioned Janik Shaqiri is getting on. I mean, he's only 32, but the thing is, he was never blessed with too much pace anyway. And now he's playing in the MLS, I think, with Chicago Fire. So it is one where he hasn't been playing at the highest level for a period of time now. And I do agree with you. I think their defense is where it's going to be very crucial for them. Um, and then going forward, you mentioned Bril Mbolo. Well, he suffered his ACL injury back in August, so he hasn't played the most minutes recently. He is in the squad. He is likely going to be the starter, but how much of an impact that's going to have on him and this whole Switzerland side, I'm not sure. It is one where it's the youthfulness and the excitement of a young and up-and-coming Hungary versus the old heads and the experience of Switzerland who've been there before. I mean, Jan Sommer, Fabian Schär, Manuel Kanji, Granit Xhaka, that is a great spine to any team, and I think it's one where that could potentially carry them, but for me, I don't think it will. I think I've got Switzerland in third and I've got Hungary in second. I just think in the Euros especially there is likely going to be some upsets. We've seen Hungary do it before, but I'm not 100% confident on it because we have seen Switzerland defy the odds before previously as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I've also gone for Hungary second, so it's a clean sweep of match predictions in that first group. Yeah, Hungary. I can't say I've watched a lot of Hungary, but just looking at not even their squad, I obviously led by Dominik Szoboszlai, who I think could have a really, really good tournament. But yeah, like you said, there's always a little shock, and I think that's probably going to be the most likely one out of that group to do it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I still wouldn't rule out the fact that I think Scotland could maybe cause an upset as well. They don't necessarily have to finish in second. 4 of the 6 teams who finish in third will qualify as well. So if they can just get themselves in third as well, I think they've got a great chance. So that is definitely one to keep an eye on because I think I can definitely see some upsets happening further down the line. But we should move on then to Group B, and oh god, arguably maybe the group of death: Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania. And you may automatically think that, okay, dismiss Albania, but they did finish in top position of their group. And in the group they had Czechia, Poland, Moldova, and the Faroe Islands. Not the toughest of groups, but they did win it, and they have earned their place to be in this European competition. So is it one where we're putting Albania fourth, or did they have some chance, Toby?
Yeah, it's a really, really good achievement for them. I think just to qualify for the European Championships, let alone do so finishing top of that group, that do have some experienced teams there in Czechia and Poland who are regular qualifiers for tournaments. However, this group has done them absolutely no favours. If they maybe had another team sort of looking at other teams in other groups like a Ukraine, like an Austria in there, maybe you'd potentially think, oh, they could get a point there, they could get a win there. But I think against these three teams who Spain and Italy, two of the giants of the footballing world, Croatia, who have been exceptional for a number of tournaments now, despite the size of the country, absolutely defy the odds every single tournament and have been incredible. They unfortunately, I think, will be bottom in almost everyone's predictions, and for me, they are as well, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's a real big shame because they did so well just getting there. But I do have to agree, I also have Albania in fourth. I think before even the groups were drawn, I think Spain, Croatia, and Italy would have been three of the favourites, at least to win the whole tournament. So to get drawn against them, it's very hard. And I feel sorry because the fans, I think, of Albania are great, but I just don't think the footballing side matches up to the quality. And I think, yeah, I'm going to put them in last as well. So out of Croatia, Spain, Italy, where do you want to start with that, Toby?
Shall we go for our third place team?
Yeah, we could do. I think if I tell you my third place team, I think that might give it away a little bit about who I got one and two. But yeah.
Go for it. Come on, let's hear it.
So I should. Okay, let me give you the long build up. So thinking about these three teams, who's I think is going to top the group, I went with. Oh, actually, yeah, yeah.
Let's just go one. Go 1, 2, 3. Let's hear 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out of the way.
Okay. Spain 1, Croatia 2, Italy 3. What about you?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I have also gone for Spain topping the group. I think they are the strongest side there at the moment. But I've gone for Italy second and Croatia third. So our first difference, our first clash, and we're gonna have to come to an agreement here, mate.
Yeah, no. So tell me. Okay, so we can easily put Spain first. And why do you think they're going to come first?
I just think they are playing the best football at the moment out of all three. I think they've got a really, really solid and quite underrated squad, actually. And I've seen a lot of sort of talk about that they don't have that sort of attacking potential. But I think the midfield that are coming through to support them are really, really strong. And I still think if it's going to be Morata playing up front, he always steps up in tournaments and scores. And there's a lot of memes about how he misses chances. But at the last couple of tournaments, I still think he's a really good goal scorer. And when he's on his day, he can be very, very clinical for them. And yeah, I just think they've got a decent manager, a decent setup. And I think compared to Italy and Croatia, who haven't been on the best sort of form in the last year or so, potentially both sides, I think Italy are certainly in a bit of a transition at the moment, and Croatia are still, I think, holding on to a few players who are aging. I just think Spain will have a bit more energy about them and be able to get enough points. I think it'll be close. I still think it'll be close, but I think Spain will just have enough to finish top of the group.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think the point on Alvaro Morata is spot on because he's not the most clinical in front of goal, but his all-round play is so crucial to that Spain side, especially when they're just trying to keep a hold of the ball for the majority of the game and possession is their game. I am so excited to see Lamine Yamal play up close. I think that I've watched a little bit of him for Barcelona. I haven't watched too much of him, mainly focusing on the Premier League. So when you do see him, it's mainly through the highlights. But to be able to watch him for a whole 90 minutes, I'm so excited because if he can really keep up his fitness and continue playing at the highest level, he's going to turn out to be a world-class player. So I'm so excited. And then finally on Spain, I think when you look at the players that they haven't taken with them, mainly through injury, they haven't even got Pedri and Gavi. So that just goes to show the quality they have, especially in that midfield. And I'm super excited. Also, they left, Pedro Porro at home. They left Pau Torres at home. Two players who've been arguably some of the best defenders in the Premier League this season. So the well-talented Spain, yeah, I think they're going to be pretty comfortable in winning this group. It is just between Croatia and Italy. And for me, the reason why I had Italy in third, I was looking at the two squads and I think they're actually quite similar in terms of quality. I don't think there's too much in it. And for me, it's just the fact that every time I think, oh, Croatia won't do it this time. And they keep doing it again and again. And so I think that know-how and that experience of getting to finals and getting to semi-finals and later on in the competition, with Italy, sometimes they'll go on and win it, sometimes they wouldn't even qualify. It's completely hit or miss. There's nothing in between. And so that's why if I was a betting man, I put more, Croatia would be my favourites, but Italy, I still couldn't rule them out. So I just edged it with Croatia. How did you feel about the two?
Yeah, I think ultimately it will come down to the Italy-Croatia game, whoever does finish second or third. I think what I could probably see most likely is I think Italy and Croatia both beating Albania, but also both losing to Spain, and it coming down to that final game. It could be a draw and potentially Croatia go through after scoring more goals against Albania, because I don't think Italy particularly have a particularly powerful front line. I don't think they have someone at the moment who's going to be scoring a lot of goals for them, whereas like we said with Croatia and having that experience and knowing how important that Albania game could be in terms of the group and their progression in the tournament, I'm pretty fair on this one. I think both teams will qualify, and I think whoever does finish third will go through as one of the best third place teams. So I'm pretty happy either way, really.
See, the thing is, I'm not as confident as you that Spain is definitely going to beat both teams. I think, especially in the group stage, you just have to beat the bottom place team and then pick up at least two draws and you're probably qualified. And I think there are points to be gained It's just a factor later on, because if we pick them as our third place team, it couldn't affect how the playoffs happen. So if so obviously I went with Croatia, I'm happy to concede. Are you happy to concede with Italy, or do you feel a bit more strongly?
I don't know. I think we're both so on the fence on this one. Um, it's it's difficult because, like you said, we always say, "Oh, this is going to be sort of the end of this sort of Croatia's golden generation. Is this going to be their last tournament?" I think maybe that key difference could be the reliance on Modric over the last couple of years, and I just think this season he has maybe shown his age a little bit. So I think that's maybe why I've got them in third. What do you reckon? How easy are you to concede?
Well, okay, well, I'll just make my case of why I decided to go for Croatia instead, and we'll see if either of us are willing to budge, because I do agree with you on the Modric thing, and the fact that Croatia, they can't keep doing it again and again. Eventually, they will drop off. I think the reason why I put Italy third, like I said, with Italy, they hit and miss, nothing in between, but also the fact that they got Luciano Spalletti, so Donnarumma as captain. I mean, yes, they've got some parts of their team are really good, like Bastoni and DeMarco. I think down the left-hand side of the defense is going to be amazing. And I think Jorginho and Barella in midfield are incredible. But in terms of the wingers, you've probably got Chiesa, you've got up front maybe Skamaka. I don't know who's really playing on that right-hand side. I think there are places where you can get at them. And I think the team has a soft underbelly, which I don't think Croatia has, with or without Luka Modric. So that's my case for why I put Italy third. I'm not too bothered either way. So maybe, did anything I say convince you strongly to change your mind or not?
Let's go for Croatia in second, just so I can use the fact that we went for your one later in the group, because I'm not too fussed on this one.
Okay, next time we have something we're not too bothered about, then we'll go for whichever one you say.
Nice, yeah. I'll use that to my advantage, I'm sure. So, yeah, Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania for that group. On to Group C now, which I think is going to be probably a fairly obvious one for who, as Englishmen, we've put top of our group, maybe.
Yeah, I have gone for England. Gareth Southgate's England. I think one of the firm favourites for the tournament. I think one of the best teams on paper, along with maybe France. And I think that they should qualify from this group and they should qualify top. However, I will say that I don't think the games are easy on paper. Well, they're easy on paper, but I don't think in reality they will be played out easily. I think all three teams have quality in certain areas that can hurt England. I think it just depends on how England go about managing those games. I don't necessarily think any game is going to be a thumping. I think they're going to be maybe 1 or 2 goal victories, and I think Southgate's pragmatism might actually come and become a good thing in this group stage, because I think there are teams who could hurt England if they were to go about it the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not a tough group when you look at Denmark, who have been some really good performers again in international tournaments over the years. Looking at the last Euros, we obviously met them in the semi-finals, and they took it through to extra time with us, which I think was a fixture in a semi-final of a European Championship that a lot of England fans were thinking, oh, we've had a really nice run here, and they gave us a fantastic game, and they've still got some really, really good quality in that squad. And I think the same can also be said for Serbia as well. For me, they were a team at the last tournament that I was trying to keep my eye on. They had a really good young squad, some really exciting players in there. Mitrovic and Vlahovic up top as two options is absolutely unbelievable for a team of Serbia's calibre, but they were quite disappointing. But I still think they do have that firepower in there that could potentially harm England. But like you said, you would think that England would have enough to sort of keep these teams away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think on that same token that I have England top, I think I have Slovenia quite comfortably second. Sorry, not second. That would be a bit of a surprise. Quite comfortably last. I think.
Mate, I was thinking quite comfortably second. Wow, that is a bold one.
Yeah, well, there's always upsets in the Euros. You never know. You never know. But no, sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting. But yeah, I've got them last just because it's their first tournament in 14 years. Yes, they've qualified for the World Cup in 2002 and in 2010, but it's been a while since they've been in the Euros. Yes, they've got Jan Oblak in goal. They've got Benjamin Sesko up front, which are two players who are of a very high caliber. However, the rest of the team doesn't really impress me, and I think it's one where it is thanks for coming, but see you later. Maybe a bit harsh, but I've got them quite comfortably in fourth.
Yeah, they're another team that I think have done really well, like you said, to get to a European Championship after so long out, and have just been drawn a fairly difficult group. I think especially it's difficult with the Euros because there's there's just still a lot of fantastic teams in there, and yeah, unfortunately for me, again, they are going to be most likely to finish bottom.
Now, Denmark and Serbia. Two very good sides, two sides who could go quite a long way and upset a few people, potentially be a dark horse. I don't think either side has the capabilities to win it. But in terms of a second place, I went with Denmark second and Serbia third. What did you go for?
Well, the predictor that I actually used is one where you put in the result of every single match, and then it sort of spits out the group for you, and it places those third place teams however you predicted the games. And mine actually came out that I still had to pick the third place team because Denmark and Serbia had the same points, same goal difference, same goals scored. So I think it's going to be a really, really, really close one. I think both teams will beat Slovenia, and well, from my predictions, I think they'll both lose to England, and it will come down to that game. And I put it down to a draw because I really couldn't pick it, and maybe it's just me trying to pick out another dark horse again in Serbia as someone who could potentially progress. But ultimately, when I had to pick which one was going to be the third place team, it was Serbia, just because I think of Denmark's quality and experience will be enough to either get a big enough result against Slovenia or to also push them over the line against Serbia too. So yeah, I think Denmark second, Serbia third is a sensible shout.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree. We don't have to argue about it this time. But I think this is one group where whoever finishes third, I think has a very good chance of qualifying anyway for the knockout stages, just because it is likely that they will lose, they will beat Slovenia, and there's a chance they could potentially get a point against Denmark. But also, I think if England have a bit of an off day, then there is also a chance that one of them could get an outside shout of a draw against England. Who knows? Maybe even a win. Hopefully for our sake, probably not. But we then move on to another group, and I think this is now Group D. It's got the Netherlands, Austria, France, and Poland. And there are so many quality sides, and it's so hard to predict. But again, I think number one is quite easy. Do you have France top?
Yeah, I think you'd be crazy not to go for France top, given not just the quality of their squad, but how amazing they play together at an international level. Over the last 7-8 years, they have just been one of the strongest teams in the world. Deschamps has got them playing so well, and I think he's got that balance, like you said, with Southgate in terms of pragmatism and letting those star quality players shine. And we saw with Kylian Mbappe at the World Cup, he can just deliver at the highest level every single game of a tournament and almost carry France, I think, to the final of the World Cup last time. And you wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. They've got players like William Saliba, one of the best centre-backs in the league, not even breaking into that squad at times, sitting on the bench. So yeah, France top for me. Still not, they're not all easy fixtures in that group, but I just, yeah, given France's quality, they've got to be top.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do have a bit of an upset in this one, I think. But one that probably isn't an upset is that I've got Poland fourth. Is that how you saw it as well?
Yeah, I've also got Poland fourth. I think France and Netherlands are going to be very, very difficult games for them. Potentially they could see a route in progressing in third, or I guess even in second, with how the group folds out in that game against Austria, who are a funny team, and I can never quite put my finger on Austria. So maybe I wouldn't be surprised if they are able to pick up a point or three in that game, but I've still got the bottom of the group, unfortunately.
Yeah, they still have a decent spine. They got Chesney in goal. They got Jakub Kiwior of Arsenal at centre back, Zielinski in midfield, and obviously the main talisman in Robert Lewandowski up front. But I just think the rest of the side is just a little bit weak in comparison. But I have Austria in second, funnily enough, just because I think we've gone pretty safe so far in our predictions. And I think even the Group B with Spain, Croatia, and Italy, I think even if you predict whichever order you predict those teams, I think it's not really much of an upset. So this is my first upset because I think the way that Austria have been playing recently under Ralph Rangnick, obviously got pelters for his time in Man United, gone into international football and seem to be doing all right. But I just think that there's something in the way they've been playing recently. It's been free-flowing attacking football, which you don't often see at international level, which is actually quite surprising. But then also the results they've been getting as well. I mean, I think they got a decent one against France in some friendlies. And it's one where they finished second in their group behind Belgium, and they knocked out Sweden, which is quite a difficult team to be playing against considering the qualities they have up front especially. And I think that there's a chance because historically, especially in recent years, the Netherlands haven't always been doing too well with Ronald Koeman as the manager, yes, they've got bundles of quality, but they just never seem to deliver. And I just don't think this is going to be the tournament either.
Ooh, that is a really, really bold one. And like you said, there is always one sort of shock team that I guess gets through over another. But I just think in this case, I think the Netherlands are going to be too strong. I think the quality in their side is too good, and I think just even their defense of having like Van Dijk and Ake is going to be strong enough to get them through that group. I think Memphis Depay is probably going to be someone who's going to be sort of leading, whether that's on the wing or at striker when he tends to play for the Netherlands. I think he always does seem to step up in international tournaments. I think they've still got that experience as well. They had a pretty decent World Cup. They almost were able to beat the eventual winners, Argentina. It just came down to penalties. I think Austria could do well at this tournament. I think they could do okay. But I just think maybe that's a step too far for me to put them in second. I could definitely see them again as a third place team who I think will go through. But yeah, I just think the Netherlands have a bit too much quality. I know it's a safe prediction, but they are still one of sort of the strongest teams in European football.
No, that's fair enough. I just wanted to put it out there. I think they will have a good tournament. I think they're in a very similar bracket to Hungary and Switzerland, where you probably don't expect them to win it, but I think they will absolutely cause an upset at some stage. And for me, it's in the groups at the expense of Netherlands, who I still think would have gone through anyway. But I am more than happy to concede and put Netherlands second in this one because I think that is a sensible thing to do. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Austria because we'll see. We'll see on that one because I'm very excited to see how Group D plays out. And another group, Group E, we now have Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. And this is for the first time where in a group at the Euros, I didn't have a guaranteed fourth place. I was umming and ahhing about second, third, and fourth in this one for a very long time. And it'll be interesting to get your thoughts on it because I think it's quite safe to say that Belgium are probably going to finish first, despite the fact that they've started to deceive in international tournaments. But surely this time they have an easy run of the group stages.
Yeah, I think in the group stages at least it should be pretty comfortable for them given the teams that we've seen. I haven't seen too much of Belgium play in recent years. They had that friendly against England where I think they looked a lot better than I was expecting them to be. They have lost obviously a few players of that golden generation now, but they've still got some real quality. Lukaku is another one of those sort of branch of players who in international football and in international tournaments just really, really steps up and suits it really well. Strong, quick enough, clinical finisher because you don't get too many chances in international football. In behind, sort of looking at Doku and Trossard, I think are strong enough. Maybe defensively is where they may struggle a little bit, but I think the other teams in that group won't be able to exploit that as much as maybe sort of the stronger teams in the knockout group. Maybe we could see Belgium struggle, but yeah, in this case, it should be Belgium first.
Yeah, and like you said, the golden generation has kind of gone past them now, but they still have experience in the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, who's captain, Jan Vertonghen at centre back if they decide to play him, Axel Witsel in midfield, but they still have some very exciting youth players coming through as well, the likes of Jeremy Doku, Johan Bakayoko, Lewis Openda. So in forward areas, I think they've got a lot of firepower as well that can hurt a lot of teams, and it's just a case of where they can perform on the big stage, and I think for the groups they should be fine. So Belgium definitely first. And do you have any strong feelings about any of the other teams about where they're going to finish?
I, like you went for Austria last time in your shock one, I have gone for maybe one that's a little bit under the radar in terms of second place. And I've actually gone for Romania in this group. And I don't know why. I can't say I know anything about Romania or the football that they've been playing, but it seems like they've had some pretty decent results recently. They had a decent qualifying campaign, and I just think compared to Ukraine and Slovakia, Ukraine who did eventually have to go through the playoffs, they did have a fairly difficult qualifying group, and Slovakia who I don't quite think have the quality. I could just see this one being any of the three teams, and the way my predictions fell, it was Romania second.
See, I don't hate it because obviously they finished top of their group in qualifying, and that group contained Switzerland, who we have put in the very high esteem. We're talking about them earlier on. I mean, I just look at that team though, and I just think I'm not sure. Yes, they have a lot of young, exciting players. Yes, they have a bond and a team unison that could potentially get them through to the latter stages. Yes, they got Dragusin, who's obviously joined Tottenham at centre back. They got Marin and Mann as a double pivot in midfield. But I'm just not sure. I think they've got no expectation on them. So to be able to go out there and perform, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do so. And the reason why I can understand why for them second is the group stage. I mean, they got first ahead of Switzerland, so it's a tough one. I
Who have you gone? Who have you gone for second? Who have you gone for second?
I went with Ukraine just because on paper I was looking at their group, not the team, sorry, and I just thought the likes of Lunin in goal, Zinchenko, Mudryk, Artem Dubuk, who's had a great season. I just think they've got so much quality. Mikhailo Mudryk, there's so many players, and I just look at them as a team on paper and think they should do all right. And they've had the experience of coming against England and Italy in their group stage, and the fact that they finished third and still managed to make their way through the playoffs. Yes, it was not the prettiest in terms of qualifying, but they got themselves there. And if you think about it, especially in terms of they had excuses as well, because with the home games, they had a lot of games where I think pretty much every game they couldn't play in their home country of Ukraine, obviously because of the war going on. So every home game was effectively an away game. So I can understand why maybe they potentially didn't get more points, and they probably could have maybe got second ahead of Italy. As you can probably tell, the Italians are mad at me. I don't rate them too highly in this tournament, but I had Ukraine second, I had Slovakia third, and Romania fourth. But I am happy to move Romania because I don't have any strong feelings, and I'm pretty excited to see what they can do.
Okay, we could probably come to a compromise maybe then of get Romania up to third. To be fair, for me, in between Romania and Ukraine, it is pretty close. So maybe we go Ukraine up to second, Romania third, Slovakia fourth. I'm pretty happy with that. As long as Romania aren't bottom of the group, I'm happy.
No, I think I can live with that. So what was it you said? Ukraine second, Romania third.
Romania third, Slovakia fourth.
Okay. And then we come up to the final group, Group F. We've got Turkey, Georgia, Portugal, and Czechia. So, again, Toby, any strong feelings?
Yeah, I think it's another one. Like I said at the start of the episode, without giving too many spoilers away, I think predicting the top and for a lot of them, the bottom teams in this group in all the groups are pretty easy. And I think it's the same in this one. I've gone for Portugal top. I think the strongest team in that group by a decent distance. Some of their players aging, looking at Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes maybe not had an incredible season, but they're still incredible players, and the quality they have in that side is still exceptional, with so many good young players still coming through as well. I think they're going to quite comfortably finish top. And in terms of bottom of the group, again, potentially another easy one to predict in terms of Georgia finishing bottom. A really, really special achievement for them, I think, to qualify for this tournament. I think be able to see Kvaratskhelia in the tournament will be really, really good. But yeah, they just won't have enough for me, and I think they'll finish bottom.
Yeah, the only reason I was thinking maybe Georgia wouldn't finish bottom was the fact that it's a first ever major tournament, and I thought, is that going to play any factor whatsoever, getting all the way to the tournament and just being there? Again, it's one where they'd have no expectations, so maybe they could do something. But even at the very most, I think maybe third, I don't think it's enough to get them out of the group. I think if they were to get themselves out of the group, I think that would be one of the stories of the whole tournament just in itself. But yeah, I have to agree. I think looking at it logically, I can't really put Georgia going through, so I have got them bottom. And I've got Turkey in second and Czechia third as well. Is that what you said you had?
Yeah, I have Czech and Turkey on the same amount of points. And I think the way my matches fell is that Czechia did go through in terms of goal difference. But I think either way, it's a tough one. I think Czechia do have more experience. Turkey, again, it was at the same time as the last Euros. I think they were one that a lot of people were saying potential dark horses, keep your eye on. And they really failed to deliver in that tournament and were quite disappointing. But I think that was, 3 years ago now. A lot of those young players have improved, got a lot more experience under the belt, and again, this tournament, like Serbia, I think will be one potentially keep an eye on. So I'm not too sure about second place on that one. It's a tough one. What do you reckon?
Are we locking in Portugal first then?
Yeah, I think we've got to.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they won every game in qualifying, and on their team on paper is just full of superstars and just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, it's interesting with Portugal because we'll come on to them a bit later on in terms of knockouts. They always seem to do okay, but never amazing, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so I had Turkey second, just based on the fact that I think they've got a better team than Czechia, which is all there is really to football. It's very simple, actually, when you think about it. But I think they've got some good options up front, Czechia, in terms of Patrick Schick, And I wouldn't be against it if they were to come second. But I just think Turkey with Hakan Çalhanoğlu in midfield, I just think that they probably have a little bit more quality. I think with like Under, Suyuncu, Aragula, Unal up top. For me, they've got a bit more of a balanced all-round side. And I think in the group stages, they finished top of their group and they had Croatia in it. So for me, I think Turkey, but again, there's likely to be some sort of upset. And is Czechia even getting second on upset? I'm not even sure. So yeah, I mean, I'm not fussed, but I think it is one where whoever comes third is probably going through as well.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I think Turkey second is a bit more exciting, so I reckon we go for that. Turkey second, Czechia third, and then it's like you said, it's probably gonna be likely that Czechia or whoever finishes third will be going through anyway, so wouldn't make too much of a difference.
Okay, so let me just read it out to everyone listening at home. So, Group A, we have Germany first, Hungary second, Switzerland third, Scotland fourth. Group B, Spain first, Croatia second, Italy third, Albania fourth. Group C, England first, Denmark second, Serbia third, Slovenia fourth. Group D, France first, Netherlands second, Austria third, Poland fourth. Group E, Belgium first, Ukraine second, Romania third, Slovakia fourth. Group F, Portugal first, Turkey second, Czechia third, and Georgia fourth. And now, the third place rankings, we need to decide 4 out of those 6 teams who finished in third, who are going to qualify and in what order. So, I don't know if you've been writing this down as you've been going along, Toby. We've got Switzerland, Italy, Serbia, Austria, Romania, and Czechia. I think Switzerland are definitely going through for me.
Oh, I see. For me, they were one I wouldn't have put. I wouldn't put them in there.
Yeah. Well, not in the 4.
No, I think they'd be for me one of the ones that miss out.
Oh dear. Okay.
I just think some of the other. I think it's less maybe the other teams, but the way that the groups have sort of laid themselves out.
Yeah.
I think Czechia have got to go in there because
really.
I think Czechia have got to go in there because of Georgia in their group. I think they're going to get at least 3 points.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so do you know what? I don't hate it. Yeah.
I think 3 points is going to be the minimum that teams will need. I think to be a third place, like in the top 4 third place teams.
Okay.
And I think for me it's going to be Czechia. I think are going to get a win against Georgia definitely, and I think Italy are definitely going to get a win against Albania. So for me, they would be my top 2 that I would pick.
Okay, your top 2. Okay, so if we had our own teams, our own predictions, and we've done this on our own, and we're trying to do a combined one together. So it hasn't quite obviously planned out how we both were expecting it. So we're going this on the fly. For me, I don't think Romania, if that one of the third place teams, will be making it. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, I think with my order, the way Romania and Ukraine have swapped in that sense, I would probably predict Romania to maybe get 1 or 2 points. So yeah, I'd be fine to miss them out.
I would personally have Serbia in one of the 4 places because I think they probably will beat Slovenia.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Okay. Now Switzerland, Austria,
it's Switzerland
or Czechia.
And Austria. I think Czechia have got to go in.
Oh, sorry, Czechia are already in. Who have I missing?
Yeah, it's between Austria and Switzerland for the last one.
Okay. Based on the groups, oh god, a lot of paper flapping around now.
From my prediction that I've got in terms of the Switzerland group is that I think Hungary will beat Scotland and then draw to Switzerland, and I think Switzerland will draw to Scotland. I just think Scotland are going to pick up a point, and I could imagine them doing it in the Switzerland game. I don't know why. And then I've got Austria winning against Poland, which would get them 3 points. And if you had Austria finishing second potentially in the group,
yeah. So what's your order 1 to 6? Tell me that.
I would have Czechia,
Yeah.
Serbia,
Okay.
Italy, Austria, and then Switzerland, and then probably Romania.
Sorry, say that again once more. Czechia, Italy, Austria, Switzerland.
No, Serbia would be in there.
Serbia 4th, Switzerland 5th, Romania 6th.
Yeah. Or potentially even Serbia in third over Austria. But I think maybe if you were thinking, you've made a lot of good points about Austria, how they're playing recently, how they had a good qualifying campaign. They're under Ranić. Potentially, yeah, they could be third. But
yeah, there's a chance Italy lose 2 games and only win 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I rate Austria quite highly, but am I willing to put it out there and think that they're going to get 4 points? Maybe they have a better goal difference. Oh dear. I'm quite happy with Romania 6th. I'm okay with Switzerland in 5th. I think potentially I have rated them quite highly, but I would like to swap Austria and Serbia. So it'd be Czechia 1, Italy 2, Serbia 3, Austria 4, Switzerland 5, and Romania 6.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I think that's fine.
Even though just because I rated Austria high, I think Serbia will do a little bit better. Even though they did let us all down in the World Cup in terms of outside shouts.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy with that. As long as it's those 4 teams, the order I'm not really too fussed on, to be fair. I know it affects, obviously, the knockout stage, but yeah, I'd be happy with those teams as the 4. And then, yeah, the order that you went for, I think that's a fair compromise.
Yeah, and we'll get to the knockout stages in just a moment. But before that, we have the all-important quiz. Yes, the final quiz of the season. Me and Toby are on equal points, so we needed this tiebreaker to decide who's going to win the Football Fellowship quiz for the 23-24 season. Toby, you excited? Nervous?
Yeah, crazy how it's come down to that. So we had four different quiz variants. We got two wins each in the batches, and yeah, it's all come down to one final Tenable. And I've given you 1910's top Austrian league goal scorers just to make sure you don't get any points. So,
Haha, very funny. I know you haven't, because I will be fuming. Well, because I think I've gone for a topic that you will do decent in. I'd be surprised if you get all 10, but it's going to be challenging, and you're going to have to work for it, So I think that's the way it has to be for the very final one if everything is on the line.
Yeah, come on then. Shall we get straight into it? And who wants to go first?
Let's do it.
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Oh dear, as in you're guessing first.
Yep, come on. Let's get it. I'm ready.
Oh dear, okay. Well, in that case, Toby, I would like you to name me the top 10 goal scorers across Europe's top 5 leagues in domestic competitions this season. Do you understand?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, your top 5 leagues are England, France, Spain, Portugal, and Italy. Your time starts now.
Nice. Okay, so I believe the man who won the Golden Boot this year was Harry Kane, so I'll go for him first.
He is Tenable. He's number 1 with 36 domestic goals this season.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Guirassy got a lot. I'm not guessing any of these, but I'm pretty sure Guirassy got a lot. I'm pretty sure Lautaro was top scorer in the Italian league. Is this including cup competitions or is this league only?
League only.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Dobvik, is that how it's pronounced his name, was top scorer in Spain. Who else was there? Was it France included, did you say?
France is included, yes.
So Mbappe would be there. I think Gyökeres had a decent amount in the Portuguese league. In the Prem, it was obviously Haaland. Okay,
Portuguese league is not the top 5 leagues.
Oh, Portuguese league is not in there, is it?
No.
Okay, let's list some of these off. Let's go for Erling Haaland.
He is number 4 with 27.
Nice. And let's go for Mbappe.
He's number 3 with 27 as well.
And let's go for Lautaro Martinez.
He's number 6 with 24.
Okay, we'll go for Seydou Guirassy as well.
He's number 2 with 28.
Okay, and we'll go for Dobvik. I'm not sure which way it is.
What team does he play for?
Girona.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. That's number 5. He is Tenable as well for 24 goals. So just 4 more to get.
So is that 1 to 6 I've got?
Yes.
Okay. And what number was 6 and how many goals?
Number 6 was Lautaro Martinez with 24 goals as well.
24. Okay. Who?
You're not even 2 minutes in yet.
Okay, nice. There's definitely another German player up there. It's either Openda or Undav, I'm pretty sure. Oh, or is there another one? It's not Dortmund. Stuttgart, obviously. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Openda or Undav, I'm pretty sure, from the Bundesliga. Serie A, I think they were quite far behind people in second. There's obviously Jude, but I think he only got 19 in the end. Lewandowski may have scored more goals than him. Okay, Cole Palmer, he got 22. So
You are halfway.
Let's go for Cole Palmer.
Here's Tenable. He's number 9 with 22.
Okay. I'm going to go for Openda as well.
Here's Tenable. He's number 7 with 24.
Okay. I'm going to go for Undav.
That is your first life gone. He is not Tenable.
Damn. Okay. So Palmer's not. So I need 8 and 10. So it's someone who's got 24 goals as well, and someone who's got 22 or less. Oh, Isaac got 21. How many did Watkins get? No, Watkins didn't get that many. Isaac got 21. Was there a Prem player who got more than Palmer? It wouldn't be Salah. Ooh. Newcastle. City, Arsenal, Liverpool. I don't think it's Salah. Let's go for Isaac.
He is Tenable. He's number 10 with 21.
Nice. Okay, one left who got 24 goals.
23.
23 or 23 rather. Okay.
You got 23 goals. This is the hardest one on the list.
Oh, Lacazette, I think. Oh, Aubameyang, he got a decent amount this season as well. Aubameyang, Lacazette, I think got a decent amount in the French league.
1 minute left.
It's not Prem. I'm pretty sure it's not Prem. La Liga, I don't think it's... How many did he got 24? I don't think it was that close. Serie A with 23. Is that possible? I don't think Xerxes got enough. He had a good season, but... Oh, I've got a feeling it's Bundesliga, and I don't know why. Oh, I thought it's Bundesliga or French League, I reckon. Could it be Lacazette?
20 seconds left.
Let's go for Lacazette.
That is not Tenable.
Oh, Aubameyang had a decent season as well, but I don't think it's him either.
10.
Let's go Aubameyang.
That is not Tenable. One last life.
Let's go Lewandowski.
That is not Tenable. That is your time, and
Damn.
all your lives gone as well. 9 out of 10.
I'm happy with that, but... Oh.
Yeah, it means I have to get a perfect 10 to win. Any guesses? Do you know what league?
I've got a feeling it's the Bundesliga, and I don't know why, but...
It's not the Bundesliga.
Okay.
You got 4 of the leagues to guess from.
Is it the French league?
It's not.
Oh, Syria?
It is not.
Oh, wow, where is it?
La Liga.
Okay.
And you know this player. He used to play in the Premier League.
He used to play in the Prem.
Yeah.
Who does he play for now, or does that give it away?
He now plays for Villarreal.
Villarreal?
Yeah?
What, is he a striker?
Yeah?
I honestly have no idea. No idea.
You remember the name, you remember the face, but you can't think of it right now. It is Alexander Soroth.
Ah, wait, is he at Villarreal? I thought he was at Sociedad.
No, he's at Villarreal.
Really?
23, 1 behind. Yeah. Well,
wow. I've honestly genuinely thought he was at Sociedad. That's a good name though on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure when he moved there, but he does play for Villarreal. Yeah.
Wow.
Because obviously he was at Crystal Palace, had a stinker,
Yes.
and then went back into Europe and did amazingly. So, yeah.
Okay, nice. I'm happy with 9 because I don't think I ever would have said that. So, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, he was the hardest one on the list. Now
Okay.
it's my turn. Perfect 10. Go on, Mev. Don't bottle it. Oh,
You have got more than 10 names to pick from here. But
That's
I thought it'd be
helpful.
topical with the Euros upcoming in Germany.
Oh, please, no, 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 no.
And I'm looking for any of the top 20 goal scorers for Germany of all time. And your time starts now.
How on earth am I going to get this? Let's go with Murasaf Klose.
He is number 1. He is certainly tenable.
How many goals has he scored, by the way?
I don't have any of the goals noted down.
That's
I
helpful.
know
Thanks.
what the 20th position is, but I don't know anything more than that.
Okay. Not just. Okay. I'm gonna go Thomas Muller.
Thomas Muller is tenable. He is number 7.
Number 7. Okay. I'm trying to think of players who've been there a long time. That's my aim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna throw it out there just so I get a radar of roughly where the stats may be on this one. I'm gonna go with Ilkay Gundogan.
Ilkay Gundogan is your first life lost, unfortunately.
Okay.
He's not on the top 20.
More goal scoring than Gundogan. Okay. We got this. Let's. I don't have this. Why on earth have you given me German? Of all, I mean, that's not even fair.
There's a lot of names on here that you'll know.
But a lot of names I don't want to say just yet. So I'm going to write them down. I'm going to write down Gnabry. I'm going to write down Sane. I'm going to write down Podolski. Because I don't feel very strong and confident about any of them. Because they're all very recent. And I'm trying to think of players. I'll write down Götze, but I don't think so. I'll write down Cruz because he's been there forever. And he's come back as well. Because they don't necessarily have to be forwards either. Oh, I didn't want to write down Havertz as well. I'm just going to do the current Germany side because looking at it. German strikers.
I'd recommend looking back in the years a little bit more.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is where I'm struggling, mate. And reason why I'm fuming. Because you know the weak area in my knowledge. International football and from back in the day. So, to be fair, if I have to win it, I've got to do a hard one. What's my time?
You're about halfway.
I'm going to say him. Lucas Podolski.
Lucas Podolski is number 3. He is tenable.
Okay. Trying to think. I can't rack my brain. Trying to think of German captains. I can't even think of captains. I can't even think of forwards, midfielders. Come on, Mev. Come on. No, he's not even German. That sums up how well this is going.
I'll try and give you some little. Maybe if you think of the World Cup winning side, 2014. There's a few names in there that are on this list.
He's not from 2014, but can I say Klinsmann?
Klinsmann, he is there. He is number 5. You've got a striker from 70s, from 80s, from 90s. A couple midfielders in there. A couple sort of deeper players, you could say. You've got some creators in there.
Oh, Mesut Ozil?
Mesut Ozil is number 20. He is tenable. He had 21 goals.
Not 5. What's my time?
You've got about 45 seconds left.
No chance. German names. Regular sounding German names. Come on.
You've got someone still in the Prem at the moment who is a bit of a meme, but is still on there. 30 seconds left.
Sane?
It's not Sane, unfortunately. He is not tenable.
Mario Götze?
Mario Götze is not tenable either.
Tony
And
Cruz.
Tony Cruz, that is your last life lost, unfortunately.
I had no chance.
5 overall. There are some big names still left on this list.
I know, but I can't think of them when you put me under pressure. Go on, tell me.
So looking at, I'd probably say there was Mario Gomez.
Yeah.
There's a big name still left on there. Timo Werner.
Wow. No, yeah.
Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Okay, didn't think you got that many.
Michael Ballack.
Yeah.
Oliver Bierhoff.
Yeah.
Rudy Voller.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Gerd Müller.
Yeah.
And Rummenigge. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. And a couple others. Une Seeler. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
No.
The rest were sort of very old, but yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that's 5 points.
Well, you knew what you were doing. You knew you won that. I gave you a very recent, based on the last season when we were talking about football for the whole year.
Well, mate, let's just show us for next season. You're going to have to get back in your history books, mate.
Oh, God, no. I think I'm all right. I've got better... Well, not that I've got better things to do. I've just got a lot going on, trying to talk about football all the time. But it's fine. It's fine.
But we'll take the trophy.
I'm not bitter at all. Oh, dear.
It's a very close contest. Down to the last tenable.
Yeah.
And that's the quiz done for this year.
It is, yeah. Done for this year. Congratulations. And I'm now thinking, have I just completely lost what we've done in terms of our Euros ranking as I've been doing that? Tell me again, Toby, what was the groups? Not the groups, the third place rankings.
We had, what did we have? Czechia, Italy, Austria, Serbia.
Austria, so yeah, and then Switzerland, Romania.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. We're fine. Sorry.
Nice. Let's hop straight back into it and get into the knockout stage. How have things lined up?
So, round of 16, match 37 is Germany versus Denmark.
That is also how my predictions have actually rolled out as well. So that's a nice one for me. And I think for me, it's going to have to be a Germany win, I would say. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think Denmark will put up a good fight, but I think Germany, being the home nation, I think this is, I wouldn't say comfortable, but I think it's an obvious Germany go through. I think Denmark won't have enough to come up against this Germany side. And so therefore we have Germany to go through. And in match 38, it'll be Hungary versus Croatia. Do they have a chance of an upset?
I think it's going to have to be Croatia for that one, isn't it? As much as it's nice to predict an upset, I think that's maybe that's a tough contest for Hungary, I'd say. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think if Hungary came up against Croatia and they got knocked out, I don't think they'd have any complaints. I think they'd be pretty happy with the fact that they finished second according to our predictions against like Switzerland. So, yep, I agree. Croatia going through in that one. Match 39. Maybe another obvious one. Spain versus Czech Republic. Czechia. I've got Spain going through on that one as well.
Yeah, I think that one would have to be Spain as well. I think I wasn't even too sure of Czechia finishing. Well, we didn't have Czechia finishing second in the group, and I think it'll be a close one between them and Turkey. Again, I think just Spain is going to be too much of a step up. Spain have got a lot of quality, playing good football at the moment. Yeah, it's got to be Spain going through.
Yeah, and then we've got the side in match 40, who I've been tipping to be, cause a bit of an upset. Can they do it? It's England versus Austria. And not for me. I think England, with their experience, get into semi-finals and finals in recent competitions. I think they have further to go in their competition. And I think Austria, while it would be very sweet for Ralf Rangnick to knock out England, considering all the stick we gave him in terms of the press, I think England will have too much for Austria in that one.
Yeah, this is actually the fixture that, again, lined out in my predictions, England-Austria. And I think for me, this is going to be the game where England are really going to step up and show why they're favourites in the tournament. I predicted this one as a 3-0 England win. And I think first knockout stage is always really, really good to make a statement. And I think England are going to do that in that game pretty comfortably.
Well, in that case, we've got to make a statement with this next one as well, because match 41, Portugal versus Italy. This is a very tasty one, and whichever team you said, I think you could have a fair case for it. So, Toby, you tell us first.
I originally, in mine, I had Portugal, Croatia, and I had Portugal going through in pens, and I think Croatia and Italy are fairly similar in quality, and I think Portugal do have the edge, but I could really see Italy, I think, making that a difficult game. I think defensively, Italy are much stronger than they are going forward. I think they could restrict Portugal quite well. I think it'd be a low-scoring game, and I think it probably still will go the distance again. I'm looking at 0-0, 1-1 into extra time. But I think Portugal will either grab a late winner or they'll win it on pens again. I think Portugal for me. What about you?
Yeah, in this one I can see both sides winning, and I think similar to you, I can see it going the distance, maybe all the way to penalties. But you just look at that Portugal side on paper for me, and I just think if it were to be Portugal versus Italy in the round of 16, I do have to tip Portugal as well. So regardless of how they do it, Portugal get themselves through. And another one, could we see a bit of an upset as it's match 42, Netherlands versus Ukraine? I don't think so. But again, like I said, in terms of the group stages, I'm not tipping Netherlands to go much further after this. But for me, it is Netherlands in this one.
Yeah, I think we've got quite different opinions on Netherlands. Actually, I'm quite looking forward to watching them. I don't think I have massive expectations for them, but I think they will be one of the strongest sides of the tournament. And I definitely think if they were to match up against Ukraine, I think it would be Netherlands for me, not super comfortably, but comfortable enough for me to say they'd be going through.
Well, that's fair enough. For me, I just think based on previous tournaments where but they probably should have done better. I'm not sure why this year is going to be any different. I don't see anything outstanding or majorly different that I haven't seen. I've always been very optimistic about the Netherlands, but I've never seen them as a bit of a threat. And then when I have, they've always failed to deceive, flattered to deceive. Sorry. So I think Netherlands do go through in this one, but I think I'm not sure how much further they will go. Next up, match 43, Belgium versus Serbia. And a lot of people tipped Serbia for dark horses and to cause a bit of an upset in the World Cup. Will they do it again? Not for me. I think this time Belgium's side with Tedesco at the helm. I think it's time now maybe that the golden generation is a little bit older and most of them have passed on. That the new young and emerging Belgium side do make a little bit of a stamp and show that they are to be reasoned with, and I think they will get past Serbia. Is that how you see it as well?
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's going to be a close one. I think Serbia will put up a really, really good fight, and I think the players that Serbia have going forward, I think it's going to be a good matchup for Belgium in defence, where I think they do struggle. I think it's going to be a close one, maybe 2-1 to Belgium, but I think they'll get through. Even if this one is another one I could potentially see going into extra time and Serbia putting up a really, really tough contest for them. But I think Belgium have the quality. Someone like De Bruyne will produce the moments needed in tournaments like this to get them through.
Yeah, and the last match of the round of 16, match 44, France versus Turkey. And although I said I think Turkey are a very good side, I think when it comes against France, I think in comparison, they don't have anywhere near as much quality or as much firepower as France. And I've got France easily going through on that one. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I think even if Turkey were to sit back and try and get them on the break, which I think they're going to have to, they don't have the defensive quality to really hold back those incredible French forwards. And if Turkey do want to try and play out and try and sort of go at France from the off, I think they'll just get play round and there'll be even more space for those forwards as well. So it's a bit of a lose-lose for me. And yeah, France through pretty comfortably.
Lovely. And then from the round of 16, we go to the quarterfinals. And apologies in my audio if anyone can hear the ice cream man in the background. He just, for some reason, seems to be right outside the house and blasting out his speakers. But yeah, nothing to worry about. Quarterfinals, match 45. This is where it gets tasty. We've got Germany versus Spain. I can see this one going either way. I think it's probably 51-49. And for me, I think as the home nation, I have Germany going a little bit further on. And I think they will get past Spain if this was to be the matchup. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, literally, mate, exactly the same. I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I think maybe 2-2 at least. I think into extra time. And I think Germany will either grab a late goal or win it on pens. I've got them in this game for me winning on pens. So yeah, Germany just about. I think they'll have enough to get through.
The Germans and pens, name a better duo. Match 46, Portugal versus Netherlands. Tough. And I think at this point, it's a toss of a coin. But I think Portugal, I had them going to the semi-finals. And thankfully in this one, I think against the Netherlands, I think they will go to the semi-finals as well. Netherlands, I think this is where they bow out. But I think, like we said, Netherlands, I'm not trying to bash them, but if they were to make it past a side like Portugal and make their way to the semis, I think people would have real belief that they could do something. Not for me personally. I have Portugal. You?
I've gone the other way, mate. I think Netherlands.
Oh,
I've got them through going to the semi-finals. I think their defense is strong enough. I think to hold off Portugal's attack, and I think they'll. I think they're just. I've just got a feeling in this game that they're gonna really, really restrict Portugal, and I think it's going to go into extra time, and I think Netherlands are going to nick it right at the end, and I have them winning on extra time. It's a really close one though, but I don't know why. I can just picture it being really similar to that Netherlands Argentina game where I think Argentina were the better side, but just struggled to break through in that last pass, finish those chances, and Netherlands really came back, and Netherlands could have gone on and won that game in extra time as well, eventually losing on pens. So yeah, we've got a bit of a decision to make here.
I know, yeah. I just automatically clicked on Portugal because we were agreeing the entire way, and I just thought, oh, okay, now we've got to just stop and decide. So, Portugal versus the Netherlands. Based on how the tournament's gone so far, I mean, won all the games in qualifying. Yes, they didn't have the hardest of groups, but you still got to beat what's in front of you. I think we have them pretty comfortably topping the group. Is this the first banana skin? I mean, they beat Italy to get here.
Yeah, it could be. It could be that Italy game is one where, like we said, if it does go and it's a really hard fought contest between two great sides, could that motivate them on further, or could it leave them a bit knackered afterwards?
I I personally think the Netherlands don't have as much firepower up top as Portugal do, and I think all the Netherlands defense is a lot more solid. If you look at the names of the paper, I think got Van Dijk, Ake, Mickey van der Ven, Matthias de Ligt, Stefan de Vries. You've got Gertrude, Dumfries. They got loads, but I think Portugal's attack is something to be, not to be trifled with. I think Cristiano Ronaldo up front, João Felix on one side, you could have Bernardo Silva on the other side, Rafael Leao, Diogo Jota. If you think about the likes of Pedro Gonçalves, who didn't even make it into the squad, I think they've got a lot of firepower, Portugal, and I think it'd be enough because especially in the defense, if you look at the fact that they've got Costa probably is going to play in goal, Ruben Diaz, and probably Gonzalo Ignacio with João Pelina Fulham right in front of them, I think it will be hard for the Netherlands to even. They will obviously, I think, probably get a goal because it's knockout competitions. They will go for it, and I don't think Portugal have enough quality to be able to block them out. But we saw in the 2016 Euros when they went all the way to the final, they're not to be underestimated, Portugal, and I don't know. I think Netherlands don't necessarily have the mentality, especially in recent years. They did obviously back in the day, especially in the 80s and 90s, but I'm not sure about them nowadays. I'm just waiting for them to turn up eventually, and if they haven't already, I'm not sure I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm not betting on Netherlands, if I'm being honest. What are your thoughts?
Let's go to the other two fixtures, and I'll have a think about that one. I'll process all of that fantastic research and information. But yeah, let's go on to the next ones, and I'll come back to it.
If you ask me Netherlands top 10 scores, I probably would have been able to tell you. So match 47, Belgium versus France, and France are one of the favourites for the entire competition. And although I think Belgium would do very well to get this far and could potentially go even further, I think just against France, I think it's probably one step too far. Do you agree on that one?
Yeah, I was going to say I think this would be a comfortable win for France, but I think it's a little strong. I think it'll be easy enough. I think for France, especially, it's just Belgium's defense. I just think it's quite aged now. A lot of the players who are in that squad, I just don't think the quality defensively is there. They will have Courtois back now in goal, who is going to be fit, who is an absolute game changer, and honestly could win them the game and could win them the game 1-0. I wouldn't be surprised.
He hasn't been selected, mate.
Has he not?
He hasn't been selected. Ted Tasso decided not to select him, so I think it's probably going to be Sells of Nottingham Forest in goal. I think.
Damn, I honestly had no idea. I just assumed he was going to be in the team. I haven't actually even seen the squad. So
no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, France, easy enough. I think, yeah.
Do you think Courtois would have been enough of a deciding factor for you to change your mind on that?
Not enough to change my mind, but just how good he is, and some of the games we've seen at tournaments, and some of the big games we've seen, like that Champions League final against Liverpool, he almost basically won that for Madrid. He was exceptional. Best keeper in the world on his day, and could make the difference in international football where chances are quite restricted. Goalkeepers can make a huge difference, but I just think, even as I was going to say, with Courtois in goal, I think France should create enough chances for that not to be much of a difference maker. So yeah, France still.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I had France going a little bit further as well. Match 48, England versus Croatia, the World Cup semi-final flashbacks. Will England go one step further, Toby?
Yeah, I think it's a different time. It was 6 years ago now. I think England have got much better. They've got a lot of young players looking through, and I think 6 years ago Croatia were at their peak. And I think, well, even saying that, they've been great since, but I think now it's completely different. And I would go for England for that, and I would be pretty comfortable in that. I think after what I predict to be a really good round of 16 result, I think that's going to carry on, and England will win this one. Probably 2-0 if I had to put a score on it.
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't think it'll be comfortable for England, but I think they will go through. I think it'll be a real, England can go on and do this, where they're putting some of the demons from the past behind them. And I think they will progress to the semis, which is a very mouth-watering tie. But we have to go back. Match 46, Portugal versus the Netherlands. And I haven't thought about it myself. I actually don't feel too as strongly as I did about Portugal.
Let's go for Portugal. I think you're right. I think they have really good tournament experience. They have that experience at the Euros in 2016 when they won. Let's go for Portugal, and I still think it'll be a close one, but yeah, let's go for them.
Well, it was 8 years ago. I mean, I don't know how much of that team is still even here, if any, really. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo definitely, but not a whole lot of others. I think, I don't know why, but I'm talking myself out of it and going for the Netherlands, honestly. Should we just go for Portugal?
Yeah, let's go for it. Ronaldo still could have a clutch moment in him, and it would just be one of those things that he does, that he scores the winning penalty or he scores a late winner, and it's he's, I don't know, 58 years old or however old he is now, and he's still doing it. So it'll be a great story, and you just wouldn't be surprised with him. So yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, Portugal will win the Euros, and then Cristiano Ronaldo wins the Ballon d'Or playing in the Saudi League.
Yeah.
All right, the semi-finals, match 49. We're going to talk about them again. Portugal, as they come up against Germany. I think if this was to be the case, I think this would be in the Allianz, a Bayern Munich's home ground. So a lot of the players will be very familiar. And for me, I have them going through all the way to the final, the home nation, despite the fact they haven't really played a competitive game since the World Cup. I think the fact that it's their home country, they're the hosts. I can't believe the March internationals have really changed my opinion massively to the fact that I think that Germany should go all the way to the finals. I know that's crazy to say, considering where we were with them a couple of months ago, but I have them beating Portugal.
Yep, I would have them the same. I had the Netherlands going through, beating them. I think if it's Portugal, it's going to be the same result. I think they'll get a narrow victory in the semi-final. I think they'll be very, very sensible, and I think they'll know how to get that job done, and I think they'll scrape it sort of 1-0 maybe and go through to the final. And as you said, that home support I think is going to be absolutely huge. So yeah, Germany's our first finalist.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the end of the world for Portugal to get knocked out of the semis. Yes, they would like to get all the way to the finals and win it, but I think to get to the semis of Euros, considering the quality of some of these sides, is not the worst case scenario at all. Match 50, the second semi-final, France versus England. Is football coming home? I don't think so. If I'm being completely honest, I think I would like to be optimistic, and I'm very optimistic about England's chances. But there's just something about when it's Liverpool versus Real Madrid in the Champions League, you just always know Real Madrid are going to do it because it's their competition. They have the experience, they have the know-how, and they've been there and done it. And with England, I wish it was France in the final. But the way we've got at France in the semi-finals, I just think France, with their experience, will do it again. And I don't think it'll be one where England can get past them this time. So I have France going to the final. Do you have football coming home, Toby?
Of course I do, mate. Of course I do. I think this is my one maybe strong sort of... I guess it's not even really out there because England are one of the favourites of the tournament. But I just look back at that World Cup semi-final where it was... I think if that Kane penalty would have scored, we would have won that game, and I think we deserved to win that game. I think France were good, and obviously following that in their semi-final and the final, they did play well. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not as convinced of France as I was maybe in sort of the earlier Euros and World Cups. I'm not sure, and I just think the quality that England have in their squad, and especially going forward, I think is enough, and I think if Mbappe doesn't have a good game, I think he'll have a fantastic tournament. But I think if there's one game where he doesn't play as well as he could, and it could be this England game, then I think for me it would be an England win, really. And I think maybe that over reliance on Mbappe is a bit too much to rely on. Whereas I think England have a stronger attacking unit, I think, than France, and will be able to edge them.
See, I've seen this narrative before, mate. I saw it in the last World Cup. If Kyle Walker can pocket Mbappe, if you can keep him quiet, they've got nothing else. And I know you didn't say they have nothing else. I know you very much appreciated the rest of the France attack as well. But I just think it's not that simple as just making sure Mbappe has a quiet game. I think it was in that game, I can't even remember, I tried to blur it out as much as possible. I think it was Giroud and Tchouaméni. I mean, Tchouaméni from like distance and scored a wonder goal. And you think to yourself, how on earth have they done that? And yes, England had a chance and France let them get back into the game. But I think at the same time, France were able to shut England out because they had that experience. Yes, they were on the rock for a little bit, but I think I'd rather play France in a one-off game rather than... Oh, it is a one-off game, sorry. I'd rather play France in the final because where emotions can be exploited a little bit more. I don't think in the semi-finals, yes, they'll be feeling a lot of emotion, but I just think England will as well because they'll think, oh my God, this is such a great chance, we have to do it. And I think the fans will convey that onto the players as well. But I think the French would probably be a little bit more calmer, which is why I think they will be able to make it through if they were to face any adversity.
Yeah, it's funny because, to be honest, when I've done sort of predictions and stuff before, I would have never had England to win the competition, let alone I think even get to the final a lot of the time. I just think it does feel different, and I think the last couple of tournaments we have been really, really good.
If England,
I think England Germany final. The last time the only time we won an international tournament was the World Cup against Germany in England. Now a chance to win the Euros for the first time against Germany again, but this time in Germany. Just come on, just that's enough of an argument, even if it's absolutely nothing to do with the England-France game.
So if we put England through, you're having them winning the whole tournament.
Yeah, I have England to win the tournament, which I can't believe I would even have put that, but I just think we have enough, and I can really, really see us going on a run, and I just think the squad depth that we have is going to be enough. I think players like Bellingham, Kane are just been exceptional this season. Saka, Palmer, Foden, Rice, they've all had really, really, really good domestic seasons. Almost every single, I think, player in the midfield and attack has had an exceptional season for England who should be starting. I just think we'll have enough. I think if we get to the final against Germany, we'll be able to get through. It might go on to extra time, I think, similar to the Italy game, but I think this time we'll have enough to get through and win it.
Well, yeah, I think I was looking at the betting earlier, and I think France, England, and Germany were the three favourites for the tournament going into it. So we've been a bit predictable in the teams we've gone for. So I had France going to the final and then winning against Germany. You have England beating France and going to the final and beating Germany. Are we not giving Germany enough credit, or are they lucky just to be in the final?
I'm going to say they're lucky to be in the final, but I think maybe Germany at sort of the last couple tournaments haven't been as good as you expect from one of the biggest sort of footballing nations of all time. I mean, the amount of times they have won the World Cup and the Euros before. Their squad is good. It's not incredible. There's not many particularly standout players in the Germany squad. I just think it's that home advantage that's really going to carry them through. And I think they'll still put up a really, really good final, whoever they're against, whether it is France or England. And I think either way, it could be going into extra time. A lot of finals do, just because of the occasion, with both teams sitting back a little bit, not wanting to put too much out there. I'm putting it out there and backing England to beat. I think France will win the third place playoff. England go into the final, win in extra time against Germany, get the first ever European Championship we've won with this incredible batch of players. Buy into the narrative that it's coming home for the first time, and yeah.
I mean,
it's up to you now, mate.
I wanted to come home so badly, but my heart says go with England. My head says don't. And I don't know. I mean, is a home nation even much of a thing in the Euros when you're literally neighbouring countries and you're right next to each other, and you're probably going to have most of your population, well, as much as you can, trying to fill the stadium anyway. Do you know what? Only because it's England. Fine. England to the semi. England will beat France in the semis. They'll go to the final place, Germany, and they will win. And our winner is England.
Yes, it's coming home. It's coming home.
Dear.
It's a difficult this I think this tournament is a really difficult one, and it's tough because it just seemed like classic English spirit that's going to be destroyed, that we're going to win. But you just look at the last Euros, we got to the final and we lost on penalties against Italy, who in that tournament were absolutely fantastic. Italy was so good to watch in that tournament. They had such a good setup, and we got that far, and I think we are better than that. And I think some of the other teams I don't think are as good as they have been in previous tournaments either. I think, as I said, the players we've got who are going to be starting have had exceptional tournaments. Maybe recent results in recent weeks haven't been the best for England, but I just think we have enough quality, and I think there's a reason why we are one of the favourites. There really is.
All right, yeah, fine. England are going to win the Euros.
Watch this back, Mevin. Watch this back, and you will be very glad that you predicted England to win it, because it's a double win. It's a double win for the predictions and for the three lines.
Yeah, but it's kind of the thing. If you, maybe it's just a pessimistic person than me, but it's, if you don't predict England to win and then they go on to do it, great. But then if they don't do it, then you still got a prediction right. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to cover all bases. I've been so invested with England before, and I've been not let down, because they have done amazingly well in recent years and exceeded expectations. But I'm not willing to let myself dream. Maybe I'm being, to be fair, if this was Liverpool, I would be. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Get your England shirt on. Back the boys.
Oh dear. My £20 English shirt from Sainsbury's, yeah. Okay. There you have it. Those are our Euro predictions for Euro 2024. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Who's going to win the whole tournament? Who do you have to be the dark horses? Who do you think is going all the way? Apparently, we think it's going to be England. We will have to wait and see. This is actually the last podcast of the season that we're doing, but don't worry, there's still plenty more content coming out for you guys on the channel. If you're listening to us on Spotify, please follow us and leave us a comment, leave us a 5-star review, let us know how we're doing. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you everyone for watching, not only this one, but of course the whole course of the season, and we'll see you in the next one.